Stick around, guys. Stick around. Stick around. We're starting the next 1 minute. Stick around, family. Stick around. Seems a lot of you mute last week market. If you mute last week market, say present in the comment section. Say present. If you mute, so nobody mute mark last week. If you mute last week, say present in the comment section. Say present in the comment section if you mute last week. Present to withdraw. Nice, nice, nice. All these boys be chewing. When I shall allow the withdrawal reach my account. Nice, 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 nice. All right, so let's get started. Um, let me share my screen. Okay. All right, so guys, one error I made last week was the fact that last week and last up I would fact that I was paying close attention to other pairs and I forgot my baby, my gold, right? I was paying too much of attention to other pairs and it really messed up with me. And I feel like this is what we face as traders. There are some times whereby because there was a week I barely even saw a setup on gold. And one thing about trading is patience. In as much as I I teach this, I say patience, patience, and sometimes you see yourself going against your see nobody's an highland in the forex market, yeah. In as much as we try to preach some certain things, and sometimes you find yourself doing those things, you're like, bro, I thought I've passed this stage. It can be crazy at times. Comment, sorry. I think I'm using the replay, but okay. And I'm like, bro, I basically told myself that I was not going to like look out for a deal that place. Like I was always going to be staying patient and all of that, and all of those things. So, and I figured that maybe because I was just less busy, and I'm like, let's backtest other place, and I started backtesting other place without forgetting my major real big thing. Okay, so I fumbled about 3 good setup last week. I was on those trades, trust me. But like I did not I only closed at TP on my live account. But my probe, I was expecting because there's some of my probes that I want to get funded on. Like there's one I wanted to pass phase two, just one trade. And I'll show you the setup. Let's go. Let's start with gold. Okay. So this was last week, my last week summary. Okay, so started from Monday. Initially, how I told you, I'm not sure if I sent I initially told you guys that I think so that was last week. Yes, I initially told you guys that I was expecting, that if, yeah, I added a conditional statement that if we have an MSS from this level, I'm going to sell gold, right, from this level. And guess what? Price did not even give us that. And then it went up to this daily order block. If you check that level, there's like a daily order block there. That was what messed me up last week, this daily order block. In as much as going to another time frame, there's a trend line liquidity that needs to be taken out. Other daily order blocks are still very key levels that price will make rejection from. You get that's why even a CPI could not even break above that level. That's how crazy and how strong that level is, right? And I feel like the only level that has the possibility of breaking it is probably another 1 hour level or a weekly level. And going to a 1 day level, sorry, am citing this OB. I feel like price might make a rejection off of this point, still to take out trendline liquidity. But like rejection from here is inevitable. And that's what I've done. We have price traded up to that place 3 times. So the concept, what really messed me up was the fact that are we going to break? Are we not going to break? Are we going to break? Are we not going to break? Is price going to reject? Is price not going to reject? So this was the first trade I took on Monday on market open. Um, if this trade had gone to like four, my total target was like four. In as much as this was the first level I needed price to reject from, I did not take profit. No, I took profit on this. Yes, I took profit on this. This was where I exited, and then for price to reject, and price gave an optimal rejection. Now, after the rejection to this point, I felt okay. My system says that if you go to a 1 hour time frame, notice that I still expect that level to get taken out. But like a 1 hour level to take out a 4 hour level is a no. So we had a rejection off of this level, and then I waited for my MSS. I saw a buy from here. But I took it, I sent it to my guys. After I took this buy, I told them after we had this consolidation during London, I told them to close because after consolidation, so this manipulation and distribution, consolidation, manipulation, and distribution. So I told them to close, and then price manipulated back to my entry and then distributed. So I fumbled this trade. After I told them to close, my no close. I said no, it will manipulate and it will not take me out. It will not take me out. Come, let me see how many pounds. Like, okay, get try to remember to share the live. Let others join and benefit from this. So and then I did not close, and the price took me out at BE because I didn't want to risk it because price is coming from a daily level, right? So took me out at B and then bought crazily back to that level again. Now at this point there was CPI. There were two things in mind. In as much as fundamental is saying buys on gold, right? But technical price is at a daily level. And one thing I tell people is if your fundamental and technical does not align, the best thing is to stay out of the market. That's what caused all this entire. I know a lot of people that blew their account during CPI, but like there was this buy that was caught from here, but I did not enter it because of I did not leave the limit. Just few of my guys that left the limit because we had this limit before when price was going up. But I was scared that because I told you guys about the FTM, the funded next issue I had that they blew my they said because of slippage and all of those things, and I was already up like 6 hours thereabout on my funded, and then because of I traded CPI, I was on a sell on CPI that day. I remember that last CPI that we had, the market opened with a gap towards the upside, so I lost about 1.8 on that particular trade. That was like beyond my daily, so 25K account. I beyond my daily drawdown, and then that's I lost that account. So I'm like, nah, anything news on my funded trade on my prop firm, nah, I ain't doing it again. And then they made good profit from this because they took out profits from that same high. So this was like about 4 5 hour thereabout. I fumbled this one again. So I mean, sorry, okay, guys, give me a sec. That's making two that fumbled. That would have been three nice good trades, right? And I like explaining this so that next time when I remember, I know that I'm not going to make this error again. So price go to that same level again, give another quick rejection. That's how strong. CPI could not even break above. Then PMI came again. This was PMI. The next day, PMI tried to break above it again. PMI did not. So and then price started giving MSS confirmed. Okay, we might have like a sell movement towards the downside. Like that level might actually be very good. So I'm like, let's just see if we can sell to like a very good level this daily order block. And then we can have, if we can get an MSS from this level, hopefully that can break above that zone and go after our trend line liquidity. So that's the concept. Now, I've not gotten any good sell entry yet, but like I'm looking at this level as a very good potential zone. But like I have not gotten any entry yet from this. I did not get any sell from this because I don't want to be entering on. I don't want to be entering aggressive. I don't want to be getting aggressive entries anymore. I want to wait once I get my confirmation. So we have my first break. Once I get my order break and I get a good entry, I won't hesitate to like don't price back to that daily level, right? Just get a good entry and then I would risk on that basically. So that's my plan on this. Hopefully from here we had like a good buy towards the upside. So you see there is a story and that will call storytelling in the trading in the forex market. You don't just enter trade because of you see your POI and your inducement. You have to have a story behind it. Like what is the story behind this your buy, or why do you think it's going to buy? Why do you think it's going to sell? So that you see inducement and POI and then you are buying or you are selling from any level on a 15 minutes. Just say there's period and you want to buy or sell. Find yourself having like eating like if I had followed I had just about one good win last week. All the remaining ones were break even. If I had followed my rule like from the beginning to the end, I would have had like 3 wins last week. And that is on me. So I told people like I tweeted something on Twitter the other time. I said understanding yourself is greater than understanding the market because with this same trade, some people got funded, got payout. Oh my god, I even got payout again. You get this same trade and all that, but like caught the theory of them. So the concept is it is me versus me. It is not me versus anybody. So it's how well you're able to tame yourself, to stick to your rule, to always show up. That will probably determine how profitable you are at the end of the day. You get. So that's that about that. And then I'm watching something on BTC. Let's get it out because I think I'm not gonna be staying too long on this live. All right. So on BTC, if you notice, we are coming from a daily good level. I'm going to show you a daily level. Now, if you see, we have a 4 hour. Let's just check daily. I'll show you what is happening on a daily so you understand. Now, if you notice on the daily, we have let me clear this. Now, sorry, where the storytelling comes from. Now, if you notice, this is where every everything emanates from, right? But like, how are you going to the weekly? It's not too long, like bro. I just trying now. If you notice, this is a nice OB plus, nice inducement and all of those things. So, we have like a sweep. So price first give us first rejection. Now there's a concept. Let me see if I can easily do that. So it's a concept that okay, if you have like an OB, price create an inducement, price comes here, creates a sweep. Like price rejects from here, from the other block, like sweeps this level, and then gives confirmation entry, and then you dump. Most times price create that sweep to just take out liquidity on all these guys SL and then moves proper, right? So I feel like that's the scenario that's happening right now. If you know price has not even taken out, it's just like a sweep towards the downside. Without that sweep, we have like good bullish movement towards the upside. So I feel like I'm safe on a weekly. So crazy, right? On the daily, notice that still from that level, we had like first break, second break. We have multiple break of structure forming towards the upside, right? Price hasn't changed market structure yet. This is just weak. This is just weak. So this is just sweep. This is a sweep and not a break. This is also a sweep and not a break, right? So this is just the first break we had after this candle like came towards the downside. This was the first break that we had. So price has just created a change of character and not and not a break. If that this level are taking out this slow, yeah, I would have said okay, I'm neutral on the sell on the buys. But price just had like change of character. So there's a possibility, there is change in state of delivery at this point. So 4 hour back to being bullish you get. On the 4 hour, I know that price rejecting from a very good level. And these are liquidities that price needed to take out. And that's what we had. Like price just um has taken out all the entire liquidity and then tapped on this level. Remember the concept that I said first price reject and then sweeps. So after price has rejected, came there and sweep that low, and then we have like good entry and then we can buy towards the upside. So I'm dishing not dishing out a lot, but like that is that's how it's meant to be. So on for daily, you want to have like my confirmation. So I already have my confirmation with a break coming. We have to confirm if this is a break or a sweep. Okay, this is incoming. Give me a sec. I have to make it. Let me use my magnet. Okay. So yes, it's a break. So I have break of second from now. So I can look for buy opportunities. If I get a good buy opportunity, I'm gonna buy price back to first. I'm coming. Let me see where this is coming from. I don't want to just clear it out. Okay, you know what that's coming from? That's from a daily from a weekly level. So I don't like my charts being too busy. And I feel like price is coming to take out all this TL, all this TL, possibly, possibly, right? So if I get a good entry, I want to stay to like buy BTC for this week, but I've not gotten anything yet, nothing on my plate yet. I've just had one first entry. Yeah, I thought that would be able to like push price, but like on the 30 minutes time, we've not had like a confirmed on 1 hour. Sorry, we've not had a confirmed MSS. So I'll be waiting patiently on this guy. If I get a good buy opportunities, I'll keep guys updated on the group. On the Telegram group. I hope everyone is joined. Actually, everyone that is here should be on Telegram group definitely. Um, so I'm patiently waiting for this, anyways. If I can get a good entry, I want to stay to like stack it. All right, so guys, I think like that's all. Thank you guys for sharing up. One thing I also want to tell you that understanding yourself is very key. See, You might have the worst strategy ever. I've seen people with support and they just trade support and resistance, and they don't miss a payout date. You know what it means not to miss a payout date? After you get funded, every week making sure that you make withdrawals, like every freaking week, making sure that you make withdrawal. That's not missing it. I've guys that's once they see a support and resistance, they just wait for market. If it close like with a bullish engulfing direction, they sell or they buy. But they have dealt with they have mastered their emotions. They are masters of their emotions, right? They understand themselves they understand the concept of risk management, and they are doing very well for themselves. So people are saying, once they say this strategy is not working again, bruh, stick to it. Understand yourself. Are you sure it's your strategy that is the issue, or you don't just understand yourself enough? Ask yourself, like, do I understand myself enough? Right? And that's if that battle can be tamed, if that battle can be won, battle with yourself, bruh, strategy is the least. I'm not even not like I'm trying to say there is bad strategy and there is but strategy shouldn't be a big issue. It's a matter of just you get system that work but stick for and just stick to it and understand yourself, bro. You're good to go, you know. And I feel like that's the battle I'm still fighting with myself. I'm still trying to understand myself today. In as much as I understand myself to an extent, I'm still trying to understand myself to that point where I say yes and it is yes. Right. Sometimes I still tweak I'm not going to do this. I still find myself doing them sometimes, you know. And that's me being coming out straight to you guys, right? I still find myself doing that. I'm like, bro, I thought I said I'm not gonna do this, you know. It's one thing I know that it's a process, you know. It always get better. It never get worse. Only if you're not willing to work on yourself, always get better. Me last year I was worse than this. Like I could did I even have a plan for myself? You know. So like it always get better. So thank you guys for showing up. I'll see you guys next week and same time. I think we should make it 6 so that it is it's convenient for guys. I feel like 8 p.m. So people are probably having their dinner. 6 people are already back from church, already settled and all of that. And more like I started a sport and I have to like be like from 7 to like 10 p.m. like a football match every Sunday to like prepare myself for the market open, So thank you guys. Bye. I'll end the live now. Remember to like and subscribe. Yes. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Thank you.